The challenges that come to mind are, first of all, the risk of a new future. That it's an unknown. We felt for a number of years that God was leading us towards a plant. We had a cluster of small groups growing at a distance from the main community we're in, and so it seemed like a good idea, in addition to some real strong sense in prayer that the Spirit was leading us towards a plant. But at the same time, for everybody involved, there was a risk of leaving, a risk of planting a community that no one knew what it was going to look like. And for the leaders, it meant stepping into a pastoral identity or different roles of leadership in a new way. And so I think all of us felt a risk in the unknowns that go with stepping into something totally new. Another challenge, we're, depending on how you measure things, maybe a small to medium-sized church. We were around 400 when we started on this process. And there's really, I think, a sense that size equals significance. And so we had a lot of internal questions about why plant. Don't you have to be like very large, or why would we want to break up? Why would we want to split in half? So even in the language cues within the community, words like division and split and reduce in size came up, which let us all know that we're pushing against where do we get our legitimacy? Where do we get our significance? And by sending out a group, we are saying that we're not going to be this large. And so there was a real challenge to our sense of identity and significance that I think we had to work through as a leadership team.
What are some of the ways that that your church plant, as it sought legitimacy and struggled to sort of create and understand its identity in this new place, how did it grow? What was going on? What was going on inside and outside the congregation amongst you as leaders? What was the energy, and what was going on there? That because you're a fairly decent, you're a fairly good sized congregation now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what's going on there? You
know, one of the things that one of the ways energy grew around the plant was they started doing this sort of a prayer for business initiative, where they would walk up and down the main street. The plant is in La Mesa, which is a community of San Diego, and a small team began just going business to business every Tuesday morning and asking if there was any way they could bless the business. So not talking about being a church plant, just we're here, is there any way we can pray for you? And not surprisingly, the reactions were very mixed initially. Some people were open and thankful, and many people thought that was bizarre or even an imposition, and we're not open. But slowly, some amazing stories started happening. So one woman left a computer on the curb, and no, it wasn't a computer. It was a wallet, I think. I forget exactly. And they took it into the business and gave it to them and said, "Hold this for the person who needs it." I think it was a Mac and a wallet. It was like together. So it was pretty valuable, and the business owner was very impressed that they would bring the computer back in. And then the person eventually came back looking for it and was really excited that it was there, and asked if they could thank the person who left it. And the business owner said, "Well, I don't know who did it. It's the people who pray on Tuesdays. They're the one who's brought it up." And so that was just one little turn of favor in the community. They prayed for a woman with a cyst on a neck that was healed, and that was another big change in a business community that didn't necessarily believe in prayer. So sort of story by story started to build up. They prayed for a knife sharpener he asked to have a certain daily income that was not very high. and he hadn't made the income that they were wanting in a long time. And as they started to pray, all of a sudden he started taking in that much, as it was an answered prayer from a skeptic who just almost reluctantly gave. Well, if you're going to pray for something, I need this much to stay open. And then it happened. And so all these pleasant surprises created a sense of energy. And that not only gave a blessing and entree into the community, but the team became very energized. Okay, God is at work in our neighborhood. God is at work on the streets. So we want to be a part of this. And people at, the mother church even started hearing these stories. Well, that's exciting. We want to pray for that, or we want to join that. And so all of a sudden, from a sense of reluctance and skepticism and really a posture of just like this is a lot of risk and an unknown sort of reward, it became, God's doing something, and how can we be a part? So the story totally changed.